Hey guys, welcome back to At Home Macon. Today we're sitting down with Ryan, owner of Lazy Susans Tapas. Super excited. We talk about all things, their menu, their new Lazy Chef program, their diverse wine list, and really how they're a safe haven in a community in Macon, Georgia. So sit back, enjoy this episode, and I look forward to talking to y'all soon.
He's tall, he's the tallest kid in his grade. Let's put him in basketball.
I know.
And I couldn't catch it.
No.
At all. Like, I'm just sitting there like, just put your hands up.
Just
and
catch
it. It's like, just hold it up and put it.
Yeah.
So there's like, I'm just hitting it off the backboard and recatching it. All the other kids are like jumping around.
Are you a big basketball fan at all? Or do you
I used to be. I'm kind of a jilted sports fan because I pull for Tennessee.
Yeah.
And they've been terrible for like garbage since Fulmer left, since Sanders was, Randy Sanders was fired from the O-line. So after about 15 years of trash, you can't really get emotionally invested anymore because you just know it's going to be painful. So I just kind of like, I watch football, I enjoy it, but I don't pull for anyone anymore.
Wow. Speaking of basketball, I want to show you this video real fast. This is I was in a fraternity in college, and this is the
Which one?
ATO.
Delta Chi.
Really? Mm-hmm. No way. Awesome, man. So we were the tallest guy in our fraternity was Garrett.
Okay.
He's probably one of the tallest. He's like 6'3", 6'4", whatever. Mm-hmm. We were low on our intramural basketball team, so we had to play. But love Garrett to death. I don't think he's super athletic. He's a great guy. He's our president and our vice president. Oh my God. But they threw him in this intramural match, and he went up. He got one rebound, I think it was, and this was the result. I'll show you in a second. As soon as he catches it, he's to the right of it. Boom! And some guy come behind him and just goes, before he even loses his hand, just smacks it. You know, everyone's like, the caption was like, some of the Make-A-Wish Foundation or something. He's like killing one dream at a time. And he's like, I didn't want to even play in the first place.
Oh my God. That's
awesome.
Amazing. It's like my first shot. Boom! Get that out of here.
I mean, as soon as he had
Not in my house.
Everyone laughed, his hands on his knees. He's like, yeah, there's nothing I can do about that one. But,
It's like, yep, I should have saw that coming.
Yeah. I don't think he played anymore. It was just so we could qualify to play. But awesome, man. You want to introduce yourself to the game real fast?
Sounds good. My name's Ryan Smith. I'm the owner and operator of Lazy Susan.
Awesome. Thanks for being with us, Ryan, today.
Totally.
We appreciate it. So, you want to kind of start here, or where do you want to start with the introduction to the business? You have reins here.
We can do, you want to talk food first and then go into wine?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with the whole, Lazy Susans is relatively new to the downtown Macon scene.
Yeah.
Like less than, I want to say less than a year, but less than 2 years?
Yeah, less than 2 years. It's been a year and 2 months.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome. So just hit the anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah, November.
So you're the owner. If someone goes, what is Lazy Susans?
Yeah, Lazy Susans, we do non-regionally specific tapas.
Okay.
So it's not like we're doing Spanish or Italian. We're doing kind of global cuisine.
Okay.
And that includes, we've got right now Malaysian, Indo-Chinese, we have some Chinese food, we have Japanese, we have Hawaiian, and then we have Southern American. Okay. So kind of, player's gambit there.
Awesome, awesome. So for someone who's maybe unfamiliar or not as cultured, what is like a regular restaurant versus like a tapas style restaurant? Okay,
yeah, so tapas essentially means food with wine.
Okay.
The original tapas were these little plates that went on top of a wine glass, so it's like snacks with wine.
Okay.
And so that's how the whole tapas movement started, and it was in Spain in the Basque Country.
Okay.
And so it was about basically just pairing small plates with wine, or, and it's kind of transformed into restaurants where you kind of build a meal, like it's all a la carte and it kind of comes as it is kind of thing. And so we do, we and other tapas restaurants do like small, medium, large plates. Okay. And it's about building an experience with the people that you're with, instead of just, I order a salad and then I order a steak and that's my dinner. You know what I mean?
Awesome. So it's different than a traditional restaurant. So like typical Southern food where you get your meat and your 2 vegetables and you kind of just eat the food. Right. This is more of an experience kind of thing. Right. That's pretty cool. So when people come into Lazy Susans and they were to describe the experience,
sure.
What do you think they say? Because you're different. You're not solely Spanish or solely Italian. Right. You're this global kind of experience.
We actually named the restaurant Lazy Susan because we're trying to communicate to a Southern crowd that it's about gathering together and sharing things like we do in a traditional kind of like Buckner's thing. And so also, I mean, it's in keeping with what we do for music because all of our music is vinyl. And the original turntables were called Lazy Susans.
Really?
So
I didn't know that.
So we're kind of trying to communicate to people to come sit down, hang out, enjoy their time with their friends, enjoy kind of like a step back in time. And we, you know, a lot of restaurants are like turn and burn.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, hey, you've got maybe 45 minutes to an hour to eat and they want you out so they can replace you, which is fine. That's the model for those restaurants. That's how they make money. For us, we're like, hey, come hang out 2.5 hours, do like 10 plates or do a couple bottles of wine. And, you know, just kind of like, it's about kind of like taking time and being able to make dining an experience again instead of like just like a quick need service type thing.
Exactly. So that sounds awesome. What was the idea a year and 2 months ago? Or I'm sure the plan started long before that. What was the idea of, okay, let's start, where did the idea come from? And then we can go from there.
So I've been designing bars and restaurants in the Southeast for the last 5 years before this. So, you know, everything from like physical 3D design all the way down to graphic design and menus and bar training and inventory control and pricing and all this.
Is that a college degree that you went after, or did you fall into that industry? I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, so I kind of fell into this. My original background is industrial engineering. So I do industrial engineering design, so like AutoCAD. So SolidWorks, 3D piping designs, things like this, as well as like machine line 2D schematics. So I was doing that and then started bartending kind of like as a moonlight job because I was 22 and didn't like, I would have been 21, didn't have like, you know, a kid or, you know, wife or family or this kind of thing. And I was just kind of like, wanted to fill my, you know, 5 to midnight hours with a new skill and fell in love with it. I had the opportunity to work with some really great people. I got my start in Macon at Dovetail. And I got to really, you know, have some say in the craft program there at the time. And, you know, Dovetail was like the new restaurant and was the first, you know, great, I think, Nouveau Americana restaurant in downtown Macon. And I just happened to be there at the right time and, you know, get to learn some really great skill sets and, you know, kind of be a big fish in a small pond. And so people kind of, as I was building followers and regulars and this kind of thing, people, you know, were hearing about it because it's a small town. And, you know, if you're connected in Macon, you're connected to Albany and Warner Robins and, you know, Athens and these things. And so started getting asked to do consulting in Athens and got hooked up with a couple of event planning companies and a couple of catering companies and just kind of fell into these things, like just more doors were opening. And eventually started bringing my entire design skill set to bear and, you know, just kind of picking up skills as I was going. And so, yeah, I do. So for instance, here in town, design the physical design, layout, first menu, train the staff at late night on with Wes and Cliff and those guys. And, you know, they're amazing people. And getting to work with Wes was super cool. And I learned a lot from him as well. I mean, like, our bar top is made out of port epoxy. And that's a skill that Wes actually taught me because that's how he did his.
So it's designed to look like marble, or a marvelous kind of thing. Wow, that's incredible.
So just kind of, I mean, like, that's the one thing I've learned probably in the last like 5 or 6 years is that you can learn something from everyone, and that everyone has something they specialize in and a special skill that they bring to bear. And if you just like listen to people and ask good questions, like you can learn from so many people. And I've just like, I think, honestly, I fell into this just because of that, like, you know, kind of building a skill set while building a community.
Are there any other projects in Macon besides Late Night and Dovetail that people might?
So I was fortunate enough to be the original GM and help open Bourbon Bar when it was down there, what is now Cashman's. And got Adam and Becky, sweet people, you know, brought me on to help them with their bar program and kind of develop the first menu and train the staff and that kind of thing. And so I was there for a year and then designed some drink menus for Reboot, like their original menu. Got to work with Jeremy and Whitney and, you know, help them get their first menu out. So, you know, doing that kind of stuff.
Jeremy Whitney from Per Diem?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they own Reboot as well.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah. Got the good fortune to work with those people. Have done some catering companies in Atlanta, so Divine Events. So I designed all their catering alcohol menus, trained their entire bar staff. That was really cool because it was like working with 400 people.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole different department than like
yeah.
Consulting a restaurant doing catering.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they own multiple event spaces in Atlanta too. So they own like pre-antebellum, like Civil War estates and like big old office buildings they turn into wedding venues and this kind of thing. And so I got to design all the menus, all the bar menus and all the drink menus and cocktail experiences and these kind of things for like 7 different locations. Yeah. It was so cool.
Wow.
So, you know, doing that kind of thing, and then doing, you know, like some cocktail pop-up things, events here in town, events throughout the Southeast, some in Athens. I also do there's this event called Wildwood Revival, and it meets actually at one of these locations, which is how I got that job. But it's an antebellum war mansion just outside of Athens in Wolf Creek. And they do a 1,500 to 2,500 festival of people every year, and it's a little boutique festival. A lot of artisan craftsmen, that kind of thing, but they also do blues, folk, soul, like this kind of stuff. Like Pokey LaForge played there, like Houndmouth played there, like it's that kind of a thing.
Wow.
And so like I helped them do their VIP program, design that whole program, and then also do the service for like the artists and musicians, that kind of stuff. So yeah, just kind of like doing some stuff here in town. I worked with the Windsor Hotel in Americus, Georgia, and helped them do their new bar program and kind of helped them with the redux of their interior design and this kind of thing. So yeah, man, just, you know, kind of bouncing around and helping people where I can. It's been fun.
So you're, over this course of years, it sounds like you're picking up skills here and there.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, what hits you right? Okay, I need to do this. I need to bring Lazy Susans to Macon.
So I was actually working on a couple of business models. This included, or like a tapas style restaurant, just kind of looking at the market and what was missing from Macon. And you know, there wasn't a tapas place here at the time. Now there are 2. It's us and Miramar. And so, you know, I just kind of felt like it was the right time for the market. You know, before COVID happened, 2020 was looking like the best year for downtown Macon because like we had grown, like the market foot traffic had grown 30%
That's crazy.
every year for like the last 3 years leading up to 2020. And there were exponentially more apartments downtown and people living just outside of the city.
Exactly.
And, you know, with expendable income and, you know, the numbers look great. And then I saw the space. Stuart was originally actually showing the space to Caesar. From Barefoot, and was trying to coax Caesar kind of out of his semi-retirement to open a wine bar here. And you know, Caesar was you know, focused more on Barefoot at the time, and him and I actually own a business together. We own the downtown Macon open air market. So that like kind of thing that we do on 2nd Street here with the farmers and the artisans and stuff. And so he got me the job with Late Night because we were working together on that project. And so he brought me over to see the space with him and Stuart. And I just fell in love with it. I was just like, this space is immaculate. They had just done the white box. So this floor and the brick was sealed and painted and all that. And I was just like, yeah, this space is amazing. Got to talking with Stuart and Caesar about this concept for tapas that I've been working on, and you know, a wine bar, wine focused. You know, there's a lot of beer bars here in town, and you know, with the craft beer boom, Macon has become a beer town. Which is great. But alongside of that, the wine market I think has become kind of stifled. And so I wanted to bring globally focused, old world and new world design wine. Become kind of a wine experience bar. We do have beer, but you know, kind of focusing on wine and focusing on wine with food. And yeah, it just kind of started from there. That's
absolutely crazy. I do want to go back and talk about basically the foot traffic or just the traffic in general in downtown Macon. It's 2020 has been great. I saw a stat, I think a couple of days, or sorry, it was going great. I saw a stat that the occupancy rate for downtown Macon storefronts is at an all-time high. They're like 75%, which is the highest it's been since like 1950s. Which is absolutely crazy. So I did just want to throw that stat in there, but going off from that, what you just said, there's definitely a lot of breweries in downtown Macon. You got Fallline, you got Just Half, you got Macon Beer, you got all of them. You are serving a different market with your wine. Because y'all have the most diverse wine list. I would say, from what I've seen, arguably the most diverse wine set.
Thank you.
In Macon.
Yeah, we do, and we're we have the most wines by the glass of any menu in town too.
Okay.
So every one of our wines on our menu is available by the glass.
Okay.
Most people in town only have like, you know, you've got a standard cab and a Chardonnay and a Sauvignon Blanc, and you know, you've got, you know, maybe a Merlot in there or a Malbec, and they're offering like maybe 4 glass, you know, wines by the glass, and then the rest you have to invest in the bottle.
Yeah.
And my intent of doing everything by the glass is so that you can actually explore your palate and explore just different regions that you don't usually have access to without spending like $60 on a bottle and not knowing if you like it. So we also, I'm kind of a wine geek, so we've got a larger French portfolio than anyone else in town. We've got some South African wines, we've got Austrian wines, we've got Slovenian wine, we've got a lot of natural wine. So like natural wine kind of became a craze a couple years ago because of the like organic movement or trying to eat with less additives, right? And so Pettit natural wines and natural wines became kind of a big hit a couple years ago, but you don't see a lot of that on menus in Macon. I know that Society Garden has some, or places that, you know, focus on a little bit more of a expounded wine program, but you're not seeing them, you know, you're not seeing them for most restaurants in town. So almost half of our wines are completely natural, which means no added sulfites, no added sugars, no added yeast. And so everything's naturally occurring with the vine, and a lot of these are also natural press, which means no machine press. They're doing it by hand or the old way. And so without trying to sound like super bougie about it, like I'm trying to basically expose people to wine as I first experienced it. So like, you know, my dad collects wine. I grew up drinking wine. We did wine at the dinner table as kids or whatever. And appreciating wine as an industry and wine as an experience, I think it's a little bit different than offering wine as a service and not really trying to promote sustainable agriculture, sustainable venting, and also old world technique and traditional method.
It sounds like y'all are really taking a different take on what it means to serve wine in a restaurant. So typically, when you go to any typical date night in a restaurant, so there's the general one, you order a glass of wine. I don't, at least for me, that's not much of an experience. So you order what you know. If you like white wine, you order the white wine. If you like red wine, you get the red wine. But here, there's a lot of humility in selling. It doesn't, from what you're saying, it's not bougie at all. It's like up class. Oh, here's a bunch of wine snobs. But we want you to come in, pick from our wine selection. It sounds like someone can come over and tell you, okay, this is what pairs well with this. That kind of thing. It's going to be a whole experience. Not just, I like Chardonnay, some order Chardonnay, or like this pairs well with this, and all that kind of stuff. So that's absolutely awesome. Do you want to move into these a little bit? You want to talk
of course. So these are 3 wines I wanted to feature because they're quite unlike anything else we'll see in town. I think we should start with the bubbles as is tradition. But this is this Tough Nut is actually by one of my favorite distributors, Rive Gauche. So they're a small distributor out of Atlanta, and they carry a lot of natural wines and French and Italian and these things like smaller vineyards, more traditional stuff.
What are the pros of a natural wine versus?
No hangover, for one.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty bold statement. If you're going to drink a whole bottle of wine, you're going to have a hangover.
You're going to feel something.
But a couple of glasses, glass and a half, something like that. Because there's no added sulfites or no added sugars, the sulfites raises the pH level of the wine, which is what when you add yeast to something that, like a fast-acting yeast that eats sugar really fast, when you add sulfites to it, it kills the yeast. So it stops the fermentation. So they get to the level they want to get to, and then they kill the yeast. So with natural wine, they don't add sulfites at all. They let the yeast, the natural yeast occurring within the grapes or on the vine, actually, you know, make the wine. And so it's naturally grown and crafted over years of growing on the vine to eat specifically that sugar and make specifically that wine. And so it stops when it's supposed to stop. And so no added sulfites, because when you add sulfites in, those stay in the wine. And that's a lot of people believe that's what gives people hangovers, or also like people get headaches from when drinking red wine. Or
the red wine has more sulfites, right?
Yes. And when people have like lockjaw or TMJ, they experience that muscle soreness in their jaw from drinking red wine. It's the sulfites.
That's crazy.
That's absolutely crazy. A lot of these, we have a lot of customers actually that told us that they don't drink red wine because of those hangovers and that the TMJ thing. And so we had them start trying some of these natural wines, and they come here every week to get a glass of like this really cool red or, you know, fun orange wine that doesn't have any sulfites.
Wow, that's great. That's crazy.
So this one is bottle fermented. It will fizz up a lot. It's also room temp. I'm a dork and I like to drink my bubbles at room temp or just below. I'm just letting you know it is going to foam. It's going to be ridiculous. So.
Running back up or what?
You should be fine. Yep.
Wow.
But like, look at all that activity in there. It's crazy.
Wow, that's a lot of activity.
Yeah. All right.
No detail. Of course. I love that.
But yeah, you'll see in this wine, it actually tastes a lot like a cider or like like a sour or a lambic beer. It doesn't really taste like champagne or like a wine. So we use this tough nut especially for like our beer drinkers that come in, like, you know, maybe, for instance, we have these customers that come in a lot, Lexi and Chelsea, and they're our regulars. Chelsea loves beer. She's a beer girl.
Okay, like a craft beer kind of thing?
Yeah, they do both come to all of our tastings, but Lexi, you know, she's more of a wine person.
Okay.
And so, you know, Chelsea comes in and we pour her these pet nats and that kind of thing, and it's like having a beer in a wine bar.
Okay.
And Lexi comes in and tries all the weird French reds that we've got on.
Wow. So that's crazy.
But, you know, there is wine out there. And, you know, honestly, we want to make sure that everyone feels welcome here and everyone can find something they like. But I just think it's really cool to have wines on menu that are for beer drinkers and be like, hey, like, if you like this, I can find something that you like in this.
Well, that's purely the definition of serving your customers. So not just offering a broad menu of what makes the most sense to y'all or whatever you like, but also serving your customers. Cheers.
Cheers.
So, oh, that's really good. That is like a cider. Cider with a little bit of sour. So it's date night. You're bringing your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever, your mom, and they order this, or what pairs well with this? That's what I'm trying to get to. They're ordering this right here.
So we've got some items on our menu that are set up kind of like as bar food, like upscale bar food. So
what do you mean by that?
So basically, like bar food that is at least pseudo healthy, I guess. And has a little bit of a different spin on a traditional dish. So like, for instance, we have a poutine on our menu right now, which is like gravy fries. That's a traditional Canadian gravy fries thing. But we've done our gravy as a chicken tandoori.
Okay.
So it's a chicken tandoori curry gravy with sweet potato fries. And then we actually use goat cheese curd as opposed to regular cheese curd.
Wow, that's crazy. I'll tell you this, me and my girlfriend actually came in. I want to say it was less than a year ago. We came in at dinner, and the biggest thing is she's gluten free. She has a lot of intolerances. I love her to death. I unfortunately do not have any of those intolerances. She can't eat gluten. She's very much a vegan. She is vegan. She's actually going on a big thing right now where she's going vegan, like fully vegan. Okay. Like no milk, eggs, like
like ovo-lacto.
Like like crazy. Like not even like I know because there's a dispute like honey is honey. It's a byproduct of animals. But that kind of thing. But we actually came here because y'all's menu very much caters to that kind of demographic. Can you talk to that a little bit? Yeah,
every one of our sandwiches or anything that uses bread, we've got a GF option. Okay. And then we have, I think we've got 6 different vegetarian dishes right now. I've got 3 strictly vegan dishes. 3 of our vegetarian dishes can be made vegan. I just, you know, sometimes when you go out, you don't want to get something heavy or whatever. And I think it's strange that in town, none of the other restaurants, the big name restaurants, are not doing vegan food. Or at least having a vegan or vegetarian option.
Exactly.
And something that's not a salad. You know what I mean? Oh, you want a vegan? Here's your Caesar salad with no dressing. That's a big frustration experience with my girlfriend is when we go somewhere, she wants a meal. She doesn't want a salad. No vegan options are gluten free. Oh, it's going to be the kale salad, that kind of thing. So putting a lot of effort into these dishes. They're not just a salad where you throw lettuce and whatever toppings. They just happen to be gluten free. Y'all have actually catered a menu to serve the demographic, which arguing for Middle Georgia or Macon, that's not your biggest customer base. And you'll see that in like bigger cities like Atlanta, New York.
Los Angeles,
right?
But going out of the way to serve a demographic that's probably not a majority of the community members here,
right,
is I say really, really profound. So why go after that kind of market? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think it's I don't know, man. I've done so much work in Athens, towns like Athens and towns like Atlanta. And so for me, it just, honestly, it's just second nature. At the end of the day, it's about hospitality.
Exactly.
And so, and that goes back to my earlier point. I think everyone should be able to find something on our menu that suits them or, works for them. And it's about people feeling welcome and feeling like they're being hosted and feeling like they're being taken care of. The whole point of having a restaurant or a bar is so people can put their foot up and be served. And I really feel like, you should be able to offer something for every guest.
Exactly.
So, without trying to be like, oh, well, I want to do this because it'll look really cool on Instagram, or, people will be attached to it because it's more PC or whatever. Honestly, I just feel like at the root of hospitality is serving your guest and making sure that you have something for them because they're choosing to spend their time with you. So, for me, it just, I feel like it's a function of owning hospitality-based business.
Exactly. Yeah. I would argue it's showing consideration that you don't typically see from the restaurant industry.
Sure.
And that's a big part of y'all's is y'all are very, I won't say overly considerate, every restaurant down here is great.
Sure.
Very considerate of all people that might walk in.
Sure.
No matter what, and we'd love to talk about this a little bit, is the experience walking through the door. What can a customer expect? Walking in through places, because y'all are open 5 to 10 right now.
Right now we're 5 to 10.
So it seems like a perfect date night kind of option.
Right.
We'll talk there and then we'll roll into what options you are doing. To go thing. But
cool.
What can someone expect if they were to want to come in and have a dining experience at Lazy Susan?
So depending on what night you're here, you'll hear a specific genre of music on the turntables. On Saturdays, we're doing disco night.
Okay.
So it's all classic disco from the 70s to the early 90s. And some like new disco and funk and electro. But then, on Wednesdays, it's jazz and crooners and this kind of thing. And so you'll hear like music tailored to a certain experience. And if you come in after 8, you'll have our disco ball be running. And, we're trying to create like a lounge vibe and make you feel, I guess, relaxed is really the move. So like, you'll be seated, you'll get some of our smoked sea salt, clarified butter popcorn. Just kind of get your palate going, get a cocktail or grab a nice glass of Pet Natural bubbles or whatever, get your meal started. And we're really just trying to like make it feel like you're walking into someone's den. Like a den from like, 1950, 1960.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what I wanted. I wanted it to feel like walking to a family member's, entertainment space or a close friend or something like that. Like I wanted it to feel like, I want this to be a neighborhood spot, like have neighborhood vibes, like essentially come as you are, like come casual, whatever.
So there's no dress code.
Right. Yeah, no dress code. I think honestly, just like upscale dining and bar without the pretension. That's really what I want. So people don't feel like they have to be any certain kind of thing or act any certain kind of way to come and enjoy time with us.
I saw the menu is absolutely amazing here. So y'all really craft your menu to be very, very big. It's not just like Southern food or anything like that.
Sure.
And y'all are taking a really cool twist or pivot, I would argue, with everything going on with COVID-19 and Corona. So y'all are doing a little bit of a new thing where people can have that experience, but also from the safety of their home.
Right.
I would love for you to talk about that and really push that a lot.
Yeah, of course. So, we're doing this concept right now called, what you're speaking on, called Lazy Chef.
Okay.
So essentially like you want really good food, but you're tired of cooking it and you don't want to clean your kitchen. You want to have an experience and have just it taken care of for you and it be nice. And so, letting Lazy Susan essentially personal chef for you.
Okay.
And each week we're doing a completely different menu just to kind of break people out of their monotony. Because like, I know for me, because I am a foodie and kind of a spoiled brat as far as that's concerned, in the first COVID shutdown, got so tired of eating just like crock pot meals, like within like 3 days.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna buy half a lamb and we're just gonna like break it into primals and smoke it. It's like, babe, we're having smoked lamb curry tonight. And she was just like, oh, God, what the hell are we doing? So I want people to like, you know, not feel like they have to eat quarantine cuisine in the next shutdown.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, another shutdown is right around the corner. And, you know, while people are, you know, being socially responsible, even before that, and want to stay home or feel like, you know, they don't feel safe going out, or they have loved ones or close family members that are, you know, immunocompromised or older, where they can still enjoy the comforts of going out to eat at their home.
Exactly.
So, and we're trying to do, honestly, it's for my sanity too.
Yeah.
So I'm not just cooking the same thing all the time. And so we're exploring, or I'm exploring these menus and cuisines that I've wanted to mess with and prototype for the next menu, or for summer or for winter next year. And so it's just like kind of an explorative, like, here's something I'm working on, and you know, kind of letting the guest experience like our R&D too.
That's great. So essentially, the Lazy Chef is someone can call in and get this order to go.
Right.
It's going to be, excuse me if I'm talking about too many details, but like a 3-course kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's not just ordering takeout. It's not just like ordering a pizza from Domino's, just eat, but it's an experience. So it's still bringing that experience that you would experience, a lot of experiences. So bringing that experience that you would have in Lazy Susan, but they can have it in the comfort of their own home, right? And that provides a huge sense of normalcy because everyone's going crazy. I mean, I know for me, it's a crock pot meal, just throwing rice and chicken and eating that for a week. But they can have a sense of normalcy in their own home.
You know, kind of getting yourself out of like this weird kind of dystopian reality that we find ourselves in right now, and kind of bringing in, some comforts of normal reality, normal life. And we do, it's a 3-course menu, so a small, medium, and large plate, or a small, an entree, and then a dessert. And we also have an option of wine pairing, so half bottles of wine, or a punch pouch, or something like this you want to take home. And those are open container compliant because they have like, now you can do open container any day of the week in downtown Macon as a way to push local economy. And so, we could do half bottles of wine, whole bottles of wine, punch pouches to go, 3-course menu. And it's on top of all that, we're even doing these things with our GM, Austin, is DJ Uh-Oh. And so, so we're doing...
you were telling me about this earlier, right?
Yeah.
I love this idea.
Yeah, so it's Uh-Oh Master Mixes. And we've got them on our website. We've also got a SoundCloud. And so if you order our food, go to the Master Mix, and you can literally listen to a DJ mix that Austin has put together while he's like cutting records and stuff, and experience music at home like you were in the restaurant.
Exactly, because y'all do, like you said earlier, there's, depending on what day you come, there's going to be different music that you listen to. And that adds the overall experience of you're not coming to Lazy Susans just for the meal. You're coming for the experience.
The escapism.
Wow, that's crazy. So switching to a different topic, but one question that I love to answer or love to ask is there anything about Lazy Susans that you want the community to know more about?
I think we've hit a lot of big points, man. Honestly, we're I think something that's important, something I hold dear to me, because it affects direct family members, is the LGBTQ plus inclusionary stuff that we do here. And I think that we call this a haven. It's a haven spot on, we're identified as that on Google as well.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like as a, like an ally spot, and I think that's really cool, and I'm glad that Google does that, because some people, and not speaking on Macon, because Macon is a wonderful town for that, but a lot of small towns, I think when people are passing through that aren't familiar with the community, may feel excluded, or feel threatened, or feel like maybe uncomfortable in some places, and just want to know where where to go. Like, where is a place that is thinking of them and, wants them there. So, that's why we put the flag up. That's why we, include ourselves as an ally. And, again, it's pointing back to the whole thing. We want everyone to feel welcome here and everyone to find something here that's meant for them.
Wow.
So that, and then, the Lazy Chef thing, like, I really feel like That's going to be huge for us. And
when does that program roll out? When
it's live right now.
It's live right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can get that on Macon to Go, where you can call in any alcohol sales. So half bottles of wine and cocktails, those are call in only.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, I mean, I think like letting people know that they can get wine and cocktails and good food to go during this time of uncertainty, I think is really important. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna make it. Everybody else is, you know, we're all in the same boat together.
Exactly.
So, you know, for right now, we're all in the same boat of like, you know, struggle and, you know, try to feed our families, feed our employees, and, you know, keep everything on the up and up. And I think, you know, just reminding people to don't forget about your local restaurants during this time, because, you know, if you're feeling some pressure, like just know that we're definitely feeling some pressure.
I mean, it is absolutely crazy. And I do want to personally thank you, where it starts just very basically from the diverse wine list to the gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, all the way up to the LGBTQ plus. I would argue that you are definitely a market leader in bringing that kind of acceptance. Because we are in the South, I'll say it. We're in the South. There's going to be some hate and some social around that. But for y'all to, I want to also put your neck out and say, hey, this is what we stand for. These are our values.
Right.
Take it or leave it. I personally want to say thank you for that. My girlfriend wants to thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
She can come here and have a great meal.
I appreciate it.
No, I Caesar salad. So awesome. Well, just wrapping up, is there anything else you want to sign off with? If not, say what you want, but we'll also do a whole thing where you tell your address, your phone number, best way to order food, and that kind of thing. So
right on.
Awesome.
No, I appreciate the time. You know, it's really cool that y'all are putting together a project like this where you know, local businesses can talk about other things than the struggle right now.
Exactly.
And yeah, so I appreciate it.
Well,
good time.
Awesome. Well, look at the camera and tell them who you are, address, phone number, best place, Uber Eats, all that kind of stuff. So.
Cool. Again, Ryan Smith, Lazy Susan, owner-operator. You can find our master mixes on our website and on SoundCloud. All of our to-go food is on Macon to Go, and that Lazy Chef menu updates weekly. In the interim, we will be keeping different hours. We've got Wednesday to Saturday right now. Wednesday through Friday, it's going to be 5 to 10. And on Saturday, it is noon to 10. We have a brunch on Saturdays.
Wow, I'm excited for that. Awesome, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Cool beans. And now we'll wrap up. Awesome. So what we'll do, we'll film an intro with just me.